Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host. This is Alpha 101 Survival. I'm Larry Whittington. It's good to see you guys, right? Alright, here's the deal. Remember I told you how I think knowledge is power, right? Goes in the mind, goes in the heart. That's where it stays. I want to do some book reviews for you. That if you're a survivalist or you like hunting, camping, fishing, so on and so forth, and you just want to learn some cool skills, these books are great reads, and I really think you'll enjoy them, okay? Let me think what else. I'm going to show you the covers and hold them up. I'm going to leave them there long enough, so it might be a little long, just so you can take notes and write the book down. Sorry about the camera shakiness. I'm on site, location, whatever you want to call it. I came here to get some of my stuff out of storage, obviously, but the one reason was to shoot this particular episode. So I came back to Morgantown to do that because it's just a great place to do it. Alright, so the first book is... there we go. Mountain Bike Maintenance. Alright? Learn how to work on bikes. Trust me, when people ain't got no gas, they're going to be pedaling their butt off. Well, guess what? Like cars, bikes need mechanics too. Make it an accessible skill, a tradable skill, right? Get it into your head to where it's non-perishable. The only way to do that is training. You can read this book all day long. You got to get your hands dirty. And you know what? It's fun as crap. All right. Second book. Remember how I was telling you rock climbing, freedom of the hills, blah, blah, blah? Well, here we go. Can you see it? This edition is a little out of date because they came up when we discovered technology. There was this thing that was invented. It's called GPS. They cover a little bit in there, but they're covering like the really old school GPS, you know, the one that was like about the size of a toaster. Yeah, they're like tiny, miniature little things. So it doesn't cover a lot of that in detail, but all the old school stuff, rock climbing, mountain biking, hacking, how to pack your pack, hiking, that's hacking. That's another thing with people doing on the internet and stuff. Hacking, hiking. Whoa, it's kind of like traveling through the informational highway, right? But you're doing it differently. Wow, I just realized, I just blew my own mind. Wow, okay. Anyway, there you go. Freedom of the Hills. It's Mountaineering, the Freedom of the Hills. It's 6th edition. It was like 25 cents on Amazon. Yeah, all right. This is a book from Amazon too, which I've been reading this quite a bit, which is really interesting. SAS. The SAS Guide to Tracking. The SAS were the British Special Forces, basically. So Bob, this guy Bob, right here, see his name? He's the one that wrote the books. He was the guy that sort of like invented, like they needed something. They're like, well, we need something to do this. And he's like, well, you know, all right, we'll just organize this team called the SAS, and they are surgical. Oh man, those guys are awesome, dude, awesome. Anyway, I love them. Also, this one's a little. It creeps me out when I read it, but I just think it's good to know first aid, right? But this book goes beyond first aid. It's like talks about surgery in the field. Now, I don't recommend that any of you do any of these stuff in these books that I'm telling you. They're going to have a disclaimer in there telling, well, you're an idiot. But if you try and do this stuff and, well, you don't have the proper training. So go to class, see classes, take a nursing course. Shit, why not, right? Take an EMT class. It doesn't mean you got to be an EMT. Just do the class. They have night classes, all that stuff, like community colleges. Crap, all right? It's awesome. All right, this book. It's called Emergency War Surgery. Good freaking book. The thing that I like the most in there, which really helps me out understand ammunition, is they actually talk about ballistics in great detail and what it does to soft tissue. Like here's a really cool page. They got some decent, like the book's really just full of like, you know, I wouldn't call it word vomit, but you know, it's just full of a lot of pages. Pictures always speak to me. But here's a picture, like it's showing the round, you know, how it travels, the percussion wave in front of it, the sonic boom, essentially. They call it a sonic shock wave. Sounds like a superhero. Anyway, Anyway, there you go. Those are some of the books I really like and I read. Oh, yeah. Can't forget this one. SAS, Survival Hand Guide. It's a revised edition. All kinds of just really cool stuff in here. Like, one of the things I like to do is go out in the woods and build those snares just for fun. And of course, when you build a snare, take it down. You know, if you're not going to use it, because you can just trap an animal and it dies and suffers for no reason. It's different when you're killing an animal and, you know, you think it for its substance. That's big. That's way different, right? People don't even say grace anymore. And it has nothing to do with religion. It's just understanding that, hey, we're life forms. And you don't have to say grace even over it. Let me see if I can explain this. All right. My cousin was a Marine. Still is. He's getting ready to retire. He went from private to warrant officer and during his enlistment. Great freaking Marine. Awesome dude. He's not my cousin, he's my brother, right? We're both Marines. Well, in Afghanistan, he got hit by an IED, and it jacked him up pretty good, but he kept going. He kept going with his convoy and all that stuff, because he, you know, of course, he was in charge of the freaking convoy. Well, then he got hit by another one. Oh man, it was over. It blew that truck in half. Took the axles with it. Next thing you know, he wakes up. He's in Ramstein, Germany, having surgery done on him. Right? Well, I'd say, you know, he finally starts to recover. He's still all jacked up. His hips are messed up. His bones are broken. You know, and just his brain is. He suffered trauma as a result of the shock wave. Had nothing to do with like getting hit in the head. It was just a shock wave. Rattled his brain inside of his brain housing group. Anyway, let me see if this makes sense. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to talk about killing animals. The guy is an avid hunter. Loved it. Loves guns, archery, all that stuff. But now he can't kill anything anymore. The guy can't even kill an ant in his house. He scoops it up on a piece of paper and he lays it outside gently. If ants are on the sidewalk, most people don't even pay attention to, he walks around them. You know, the guy, when he sits down at anything, in front of anything living, he's grateful for its existence. See, that's grace. That's saying grace right there. All right, hopefully that broke it down for you. He's just been a great guy. So, you know, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, right? That's why war is a bad thing. We wouldn't have war if it didn't make money, and tons of it. There you go. Anyway, there's a couple other books I gotta throw at you that are pretty freaking cool. I've got them in the car though. I totally forgot to bring these out. Here we go. These are 3 other books. They're old school reads, so you may have read them, maybe not. You know, it sure as hell wasn't on your must read list when you're in high school or in college. I'll tell you that. Because these books, you know, help you think. They teach you how to think. God, we don't want people to think. Then they make decisions and they do stuff on their own. God, losing control. Earthquake shake. Anyway. And it's not Democrat or Republican, anything like that. You know, it's no weird word vomit. It's the Federalist Papers. Pretty cool. It's just, you know, a lot of debates back and forth. It's really cool. Common Sense. Thomas Paine. He was a pain in their asses, man. Because this guy was a humanist. I mean, hardcore, hard-charging, tip of the spear. You know, don't be the tip of the spear. Be that very atom on the end. Because there's no action on the handle type debater. And he just believed in common sense. I mean, you know, this guy was, you know, debating about slavery and stuff. And this book I love because that movie with George Clooney even though he's kind of out there in some of his political beliefs, it's still cool, man. Everybody's, has a right to their own self-expression. But this book is sort of loosely based off of some of that stuff that was going on with the MK Ultra projects the CIA were conducting, and then obviously they saw some use for it, and then it goes into the military for a good test group. And this is a book that's not about the men who stare at goats, but it's same thing. It's about remote viewing, which I've studied because it's about art. You ever heard of a remote viewer, like they concentrate on an object and they have to sketch it? Well, because I'm an artist, I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to start thinking about that stuff. And maybe it'll teach me another way to, think about art differently. This is it. Oh, God, sorry. I've got my finger over the author. Reading the enemy's mind. It'll blow your freaking mind. Because guess what? After I read this book, guess what I can do now? I can read minds. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, this guy's a handsome, captivating individual. I'm just joking. I can't read your mind, dude. I don't know if you're thinking that or not. Okay. Anyway, my name is Larry Whittington. I am the host of Alpha 101 Survival. I will see you guys at the pawn shop. Laters.